Lieutenant Colonel, we were on paragraph 8 of Exhibit X13 in brackets B. You may proceed.
Paragraph 8. In paragraph 8, the conclusions arrived at were based on facts established by means of examination and processes which required knowledge and skills in forensic ballistics. Paragraph 9. Exhibits mentioned in paragraph 3 and 5 were disposed as follows. On the 13th of November 2014, the exhibits mentioned in 3.1 and 3.2 were sealed in evidence bag with number PA 400-387497Y and handed over to the case administration of ballistics section. And then 9.2, on the 13th, the same day of November 2014, the exhibits and tests mentioned in 3.3.1, 3.4.1, and 5.2 were sealed in evidence bag with number PA 60027377791 and are filed in the case file with lab number 217267/14. Paragraph 10. During the performance of my official duties, the exhibits and tests mentioned were for the purpose of the examination kept in my custody under lock and key from the 13th of November until on the same day, the 13th of November 2014.
Lieutenant Colonel, to confirm the correctness of your affidavit and stand by it.
That's correct, my lord.
So come back to this exhibit regarding the ownership of this firearm. Can you then continue to tell the court as to what happened after this date, the 13th of November 2014, on which your affidavit was commissioned? After the arrest of the accused in May of 2020, see, referring to a document, what is it?
This is my notebook. I normally write my notes when I...
Did you make entries in that notebook?
I made some notes when I was busy working on.
Yes. And when did you make those notes?
I normally make notes on the same day when I have it.
You want to refresh your memory out of the notebook?
Yes, my lord. I just want to check the dates.
You can maybe revert to those dates. You can just tell the court what happened during those days.
Okay, the dates. Right, my lord, on the first date, I'll just confirm the date because I had it yesterday. I was called by the IO, Brigadier Gininda. I then was Colonel. He said I must meet him at Sinoville because he want me to assist, to share an idea with him. Of course, if I can determine, if looking at a person, can I determine?
Just get clarity if that witness will be called.
As a court, please, my lord, the witness has hardly said anything. He's the investigating officer. We will be calling him. Maybe that evidence be provisionally allowed.
It was on the 1st of June when I was called by the IO.
Yes, 1st of June, which year?
2020. What he wanted to know from me is if I look at the bullet trajectory from the crime scene on the bullet that perforated the body of the deceased, and if we have a person of interest, can I be able to determine if the height of this person can allow him to be maybe to exclusively that this can be the person who discharged the firearm? And I said it's not going to be possible to determine exactly because people might be of the same height and can react the same way or different height. And I said no, but we'll look into it. Maybe we can determine something.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this when the cooking began? So listen to what Mangena says, okay? Mangena is the ballistic expert that was trained at the FBI and the other places, okay? And also has the ballistic expert diploma from UNISA, okay? Okay. Might not be Stellenbosch, but it's something, okay? Now, let's keep that in the back of your mind. Keep that in the back of your mind. He does his testings, okay? On the 13th of November 2014, he completes his entire testing of the 2 bullets that were found at the Khumalo Spaza house, okay? The night of Senzomiwa's death, okay? He did those tests, his ballistic test, and concluded his ballistic test on the 13th of November. and ended and completed his report and also sealed the exhibit bags and said the gun is not a match. We still don't know whose gun this is. I'm thinking Chikotwala. But you know what? Baloy is holding off with that information, so we'll play the bouncing ball as Baloy wants us to do. Okay? Now focus. This is 6 years later. Jiggy jiggy, ring ring. Hey, says Mangena. He calls up Brigadier Gininda, investigating officer, who was a colonel at that time. On the 1st of June 2020, says to Mangena, listen, I need you to come down to the police station over here, and I need you to tell me, because I heard you're the ballistic expert, and you're quite the brilliant ballistic expert. And you know what? As I'm recording this, I now have to look up if this was before or after the Oscar Pistorius case. Woohoo! Hold that thought. Okay, 1st of June 2020. Was that before? Oh, anyway, let's stay focused. Let me not digress. Gininda calls him. The investigating officer Gininda calls Mangena and he says, hey, Mr. Ballistic Expert trained at the FBI, can you tell me something? If you look at a person, that was the first red flag for me. If you look at a person and you look at your bullet trajectory from the crime scene of the Senzo case, remember the Senzo case from 2014? That's a cold case that's still unresolved. Yes, that case. Can you look at the height of a person and use it to assist you to determine if he discharged the firearm? What? This looks to me like a grocery shopping list, okay? Hello, Mangena. I have a new suspect in custody. I want to see if I can tie him to the murder of Senzo Meiwa. This is absolutely ridiculous. In my humble opinion, I didn't know that's how suspects are found. I thought they're found on suspicion, not matching their height to the crime. What? Let me quickly go check on that Oscar Pistorius case date. But in the meantime, let's continue listening on.
I went to Villa police station where he was. When I arrived there, he told me that you've got the person of interest in the case. If I can look into it, I said, no, let me take the height of the person and take the shoulder level. If a person is shooting from shoulder level or if a person is shooting from elbow level, can this trajectory be maybe possible? But on that day at Villa police station, I pointed to me Musi Svia. Is it Musi or Musi Svia? Who is accused number 1 in the matter? I only took the height of the person and then took the shoulder level. His height was around 1.73 meters, and then I took the shoulder level, which was around 1.47. Then I took from the elbow level, which was 1.10 meter. Then I said I'll look into the trajectory that I have on the scene and see if I can determine that. But on the 17th of June 2020, the IO Brigadier Gininda called me again. He said he's got a second person of interest who can be the suspect in the matter. One person was at Pretoria North SAPS. And I said, let's do the same exercise to see if we can see the difference between the two people. I did the same exercise, and it was Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi. I did the same exercise. I took the height of which was 1.86, and then from shoulder level was 1.55, and then the elbow level was 1.19. Then I looked into the two people because their height are different. Looked into the trajectory, but I said, no, it's not going to be possible to determine exactly which one more, because people might be of the same height, and then the arm is flexible, it can change direction, it can be of any height. So I said, no, let's look into something else that maybe can show us or give us direction.
And Bongani Sandiso does which accused is that?
Accused number 2. Then I looked into the crime scene photos again. I went through my report, I went through the crime scene photo. But when I was looking, I said, but with bullet hole, shot number 1, which was direct to the tire, where I said the bullet fragmented and the fragment is cut out. I said, if anybody was around that area, it could have been hit by the fragments from this bullet. I said, let's also do another exercise on this to check if we can see any scars or anything that can be related to the fragments on the feet of the persons of interest. But on the 30th of June, I went with Colonel Gininda called me while I was in Johannesburg prison to meet him at Johannesburg prison. And on that one, we did the same exercise again, taking the height, the shoulder level, and the elbow level. and it was Ntobisi Ncube, and who is accused number 3 in the matter. Then after I took the measurement, I asked him to take off his shoes and socks. So I just want to check on if I can see anything that can be related to the fragments. But when I started checking on his leg, he himself said to me that when he was young, he used to play soccer, he used to play on the field. No, the scars that I see on the legs will be from his childhood. And from them, of course, I didn't tell him that what was I looking for. But from what he told me, I realized that this might be the person of interest. Because how did he know that I was looking for scars on the legs? And I think before after Colonel Gininda called me again. He said there's another person of interest who was at Talakabusha prison in Mpangeni.
Just before you proceed, now did you take any measurements of accused number 3?
I did took the measurements first before I could ask him to take off the shoes. His height was 1.63, shoulder level was 1.38, and then the elbow was 1.06. And then on the 1st of July 2020, we went to Talakabusha prison. And there it was Fisokutle Ntuli.
Yes. Which accused is that?
Which is accused number 5. When we requested him to allow us to take, and he refused completely. He said he doesn't want to do that. He's not going to do it. And he refused. We left him there. Right. On the 6th of July, we went to Leokop prison. At Leokop, it was Ntokoziseni Mapisa.
Yes, which accused?
Which is accused number 4. Oh. With accused number 4, we did the same exercise, taking the measurements and the height, the shoulder level and the elbow level. No. His height was 1.79, the shoulder was 1.48, and then the elbow was 1.18. I also asked him to take off the shoes and the socks so I can check it, and he did that. I checked, but I couldn't see anything.
Now, in respect of, just to come back to accused number 3, did he take off his shoes and socks?
Accused number 3?
3, yes.
Yes, he did.
And what were your observations?
I couldn't see anything also. Right. The IO, Brigadier Gininda, called me and said, accused number 3 has been arrested for.
Yes, you don't need to mention what he's been arrested for, yes.
So he said...
He made a report to you about his arrest.
He made a report to me about his arrest, and he said, there's a firearm that was recovered from accused number 3. Can I check the firearm if it's not linked to our case?
When did he call you?
I can't remember when was it, but that's when I started to look for the case file. Because if a firearm is recovered and is sent to the lab for analysis, what will be the case number? When they register it, the case number will generate a lab number, and then we'll be using that lab number. Go. The case number that he gave me was Cleveland 96 of 2015.
I actually have so much to say, so I might not say this in order, but I'm just gonna, just talk as we go. First and foremost, I want to say I am so glad that the defense has their own expert that they have hired, okay? And that legal aid finally agreed to pay for that, because I think that was definitely crucial. So I've done parts 1 to 4. If you haven't caught them yet, make sure you watch them over here, okay? I'm going to link them up here. Now, one thing that the reason I'm referring you back to that is because from part 1 to part 4, Mangena is sounding like the scientist, okay? He's sounding like the guy who was trained by the FBI. Everything is balancing, okay? All the checks and balances are good. The evidence bag was sealed. Everything is okay, in my opinion, from what he's saying. Remember, this is his affidavit, his recollection of how things went. So everything he's saying is making sense to me, okay? He's told us that the exit wound for Senzo Meyu at the height was the entrance wound was higher than the exit wound of the bullet. Of course, then the bullet, passed by the door, which was slightly opened, and then it did a boomerang, and then the bullet came back. I mean, that is ultra science. But you know what? That's his story, and he's sticking by it. So I'm just going to tell it as he's telling it, okay? Then that bullet comes back into the house. And then after it comes back into the house, it has lost a lot of energy. So that's why it doesn't, shatter the glasses. It just places itself and settles nicely in the glasses. You know how I feel about that. But let's keep going because I want to get to the point of what he's revealed in this video. I think we're now on part 5. Okay? As we keep going, now he's done with his expertise story and him testing the gun that we still don't know whose gun it is. And then when he tested that gun, the bullets did not match those that were found at the crime scene. So this is not the weapon that did what? That shot the bullet that killed Usenzo Meiwa. Okay, we're up to speed so far. Now, that was in 2014, 13 November 2014. He closes it out and he hands over, the exhibits back in a sealed evidence bag. And he obviously gives us the evidence bag number. And then he hands over those evidence bags back to the case admin of the ballistic section. Okay, he's done. Case closed. The case even gets its file number. 6 years later, Gininda calls. Okay, Gininda calls and he has very interesting requests. So his first call is on the 1st of June 2020. Woo! And then he calls again. On the 1st of June, they go and measure Umuzi Sibia. Okay? They measure Muzi Sibia's height, shoulder level, and elbows. Muzi Sibia is 1.73 meters, his shoulders is 1.47, and his elbows is 1.10. These are important numbers to him, Mr. Ballistic Scientific Expert trained at the FBI and UNISA University. Okay? Then on the 17th of June, one day after Bongani Ntanzi is arrested. No, sorry, I skipped a part. So when they took Muzi's measurements, he tells Gininda, that's not going to give me everything I need, okay? I still need more to be affirmative that so that I can check the trajectory of the bullet. Surprise, surprise, 17 days later, Gininda calls him, ring, ring, I've got somebody else, can you come and measure him? He goes to measure who? Bongani Ntanzi, height 186 meters, shoulder height 1.55, elbow height 1.19. Listen, Bongani Ntanzi is tall. I appreciate these numbers because it helped me comparing with my height. I was like, oh, okay. Bongani Ntanzi is pretty tall. Bongani Ntanzi is pretty tall. Muzi Sibia, we're the same height. We're similar heights, very, very close in height, Muzi Sibia and I. So this helps me now to visualize their heights better. So shout out to Mangena for giving us this information because we, as the members of the public jury, we don't get to see the pictures or anything that he's beaming. So this is very helpful. Next up, they take those measurements and now they have whose measurements? Muzi Sibia's and whose? Bongani Ntanzi, who has just been arrested. Okay, common denominator here is Gininda. Okay, follow me. Next, from there, he says, oh, the guys are not exactly the same height. We need something else that can determine them. So remember, this is science, and you know how science is. The probabilities involved, and he's trying to eliminate any kind of probabilities. Okay, so he says, you know what? We need an extra thing to add on because height doesn't really matter. They can be the same height, but their reactions will be different. So I cannot affirmatively say he did it or he did it. So then he says, wait a minute. We can use the bullet that hit the floor at a 90-degree angle. We have to check their bodies and we have to check their feet. So I have to take off their socks and shoes and check them. And if anybody has a scar, then it means they're the ones who pulled the trigger because we know 100% that at the Kelly Kumalo Spaza house, according to the story told by the investigation team, that the bullet hit the floor, okay? And therefore that bullet, because it was a soft bullet, there was damage to the tile. And if there was damage to the tile, then that splatter would have caused, the fragments would have hurt whoever was right there. Now, my question is, did you check Senzo Meiwa's legs? Did you check the deceased? Did you check Longwe Twala? Did you check, what's Longwe Twala's height? Sir, Mr. Mangena, Gininda, did you check Longwe Twala's height? Did you check Tumelo Matlala's height? Did you check his feet? Did you take off all these people's socks and shoes? I'm just asking. I'm not an investigating officer, but this is something that stands out to me. I'm not hearing how those people took off their shoes and socks and you found no scars. But so we said who, and also the other friend there, Mtogo. Did anybody check those people? Even Kelly Kumalo, even Uzandi. Everybody should have been checked, and we should see that report somewhere. Because to me, it sounds like Gininda suddenly has a shopping list. Okay, it's like a grocery list. Okay, he's opened up the 60-second app, the Checkers 60 seconds app, and he's like, okay, let me see what we're gonna order today. So we're ordering measurements for Muzisibia. Let's try Muzisibia. Oh, he's just been arrested. What's his height? Anybody of this height, make sure you call me, and I call Mr. Ballistics, and do you see what I mean? It sounds like a lot of guesswork, and I'm not feeling the science right here. It seems like they're trying to feed their formula, whereas opposed to the evidence should be presented, and therefore they put it in the formula. But it looks like they're looking for this ghost. They're chasing a ghost. Now listen to what happens on the 30th of June. Okay? They go to Joburg prison, and there's a new guy in town. Who is it? Mtobisi Ngube, accused number 3. Well, Mtobisi Ngube, thank goodness he's short, or should I say shorter, because his height is not working. Is not working with the formula of that trajectory business, okay? He's the short guy, okay, of the 5. So he takes off his socks. Before he takes off his socks and shoes, he's like, listen, I used to play soccer when I was young. So these guys are from soccer. And Mangena's like, wait a damn minute. How did he know I was looking for scars on his legs? I didn't say what I was looking for, but he seems to know. He's a gun. He's an Kabi. He knows, okay? They know these things. But do you know who knows? Do you know who knows the game better? Do you know who beat them at their very own game? Accused number 5, okay? On the 1st of July 2020, Gininda calls again Mangena and says, hey, what's up? You know that list I'm trying to go through? I have somebody else. Come on over to where Kalagabusha prison. And there is who? Fisogu Tlentuli. Gabi of a note, okay? Fisogu Tlentuli comes over and Mangena says, listen, I need to take your measurements. And Fisogu Tlentuli, who knows his constitutional rights? Shout out to accused number 5, because I've also learned something. Don't just be giving your measurements out on these streets, because they could tie you to a crime you don't even know about. Fisogu Tlentuli said, leave me alone. No, I don't consent to this. Get me out of here. And they got how many measurements out of him? 0. Nada. Nothing. Woo! I think he was trained really well by who? Shololo, because remember the Boksburg Magistrate Court, they tried to get his fingerprints, and Shololo said, no ways. You already did it. Why do you need them a second time? Do you see what I mean? Shout out to Fisogu Tlentuli, okay? We're learning from the Gavis. Pay attention to the Gavis. And I was thinking, is this the kind of information you want to give in court, Mr. Ballistic Expert, when you have Gavis in the room? But then I was like, you know what? It's too late. They're convicted anyway, okay? But I digress. What happens next? Gininda calls again. Remember, Gininda's got this list, man. Gininda is a determined man. He says, you know what? Let's try this one more time, Mangena. Let's try this one more time. Come on over to Leoco prison, okay? Come on over there. Who do we have over there? Mthokoziseni Mapisa. And what do? They take his measurements, all right. They surely take his measurements. I'll tell you one thing, he's definitely taller than me. His height is 1.79, his shoulder is 1.48, and his elbow is 1.18. I'm trying to see whose shoulder height I am at. I'm definitely above Bongani Danzis. You know what? Here I go digressing. My mind is scattering over there. But number 4 gives out the measurements, takes off his shoes as well. Bonus prize, and they see nothing. Nobody had any of these guys on their feet. Okay? Gininda still has a problem, but he's not letting this go. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on this. I thought this was highly incredible. I hope the defense pays attention to this as well, and I hope it's part of their line of questioning for Mangena. Like, since when do you now just go wishy-washy, jiggy-jiggy, looking for people. I thought you're the ballistic expert. The evidence has to lead you to the answer, not you looking for the evidence, sir. But you know what? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on this. I thought this was so interesting. And then next they move on to next Mangena starts to talk about the gun that was found in that accused number 3 was found with, allegedly. Okay, the gun and the ammunition. So part 6 is going to be all about that, and you already know the house rules over here. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on those notification bells so you don't miss the next upload. Now, if you have made it this far in the video, you absolutely know you have my heart. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, because what? Because what? YouTube is about to change, because who is in town? Who is the newest kid in town? Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh my God. He's opened up his YouTube channel and has broken the algorithm, okay? But speaking of algorithms, make sure you tap over here, visit my other channel, because hey, if Cristiano can do it, why can't I? And I can only do it with your help. Please do as well subscribe to my new channel. That means the world to me, okay? Thank you so much. I'm just trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not trying to get to 44 million. Nah, just 1,000. Just 1,000. That unlocks monetization. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Let me catch you on my next upload. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with the last 4 people you chatted with. Why? Because 10 a.m. is the hour. Okay. 10 past 4 today. Okay. The Pretoria High Court is going to be lit. Do you think Mangena is going to be there, or the defense is going to request another adjournment? This is a developing story, Mzansi. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.